الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. أما بعد, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us in His glorious book in Surah Al Imran chapter 3 and verse 18. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم. Allah witnesses that there is no deity except Him, and so do the angels and those of knowledge, that He is maintaining creation in justice. There is no deity except Him, the exalted in might, the wise. The part I want to talk about, we talked about this verse before. The one I want to talk about today is قائما بالقسط, establishing, the creation is done in justice. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is just. His laws are just. His creation is just. His acts are just. What He ordered us to do is just. What He forbid us to do is just. The basis of the creation of this universe was done as justice at its heart. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala based the universe on justice and ordered man to be just, and He declared that He loves the just ones, the ones who act justly. In the ending of verse 42 in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5, وَإِنْ حَكَمْتَ فَحْكُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ بِالْقِسْطِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُقْسِطِينَ. And if you judge, speaking to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if you judge between them with justice, indeed Allah loves those who act justly. So qist is the establishment of justice, is a very important part of human life, because it preserves life and dignity. Without justice, life is unbearable. I mean, you cannot live in a place where injustice is basically how the government rules. So justice has to be part of our character. And it starts in the home, where you do not favor one child over another. You may love one child more than you love another, but you treat them equally. You treat them with justice. That's where, justice starts. It starts at the home. Same thing with siblings. And then justice continues outside the house, in the workplace, in the marketplace, at work. You treat the people that you work with justly. You may not like them, but you cannot wrong them. You cannot treat them with injustice. So liking or not liking has nothing to do with how you should act. The act should always be with justice. Do what is right. And you extend this justice to all of Allah's creation. Not just people. I mean, you have to be just with the environment. You have to be just with animals. You have to be just everything around you. If you look at yourself as somebody who's moving on this earth, everybody around you should love you and be safe around you, because you treat everything around you with justice. And in Sahih Muslim, Abdullah reported that Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, عذبت امرأة في هرة سجنتها حتى ماتت فدخلت فيها النار لا هي أطعمتها وسقتها حتى إذ هي حبستها ولا هي تركتها تأكل من خشاش الأرض. It's talking about a woman that was tormented because a cat which she had, a cat. We're not talking about people, we're talking about an animal. A cat that she had, she confined it until it died. She did not feed it and take care of it, nor she let it go out and eat from the vermin of the earth. And because of that treatment, she had to enter hellfire. So, when you talk about animals, sometimes we kind of belittle animals, but you have to treat animals as a soul. Whether it's a person, whether it's an animal, you cannot just go out and kill things without reason, because we will all be asked. That animal that you kill will be waiting for you on the day of judgment, asking Allah, ask him, why did he kill me? People that go in and shoot hundreds of birds and then throw them in the trash, just so they can say they're good hunters. We do have leeway for harmful animals in the home, like a mouse, a snake, a scorpion. You can kill them because they're harmful. But to be driving outside and veer out of your way to run over a squirrel or run over an animal, that's an act that is punishable severely by Allah. That is not justice. So if somebody is being punished, if that woman was deemed punished with entering the hellfire for tormenting a cat, what do you say about tormenting another human being? So we have to be very careful about committing injustice against others. Oppression is a great sin that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will punish very severely for on the Day of Judgment. In Sahih Muslim, Jabir ibn Abdullah reported that the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the first part of the hadith, اتقوا الظلم فإن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. Be on your guard against committing oppression, for oppression is a darkness on the day of resurrection. Then another verse in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 8, Allah tells us and commands us, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. O you have believed, be persistently standing firm for Allah, witnesses in justice, and do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness, and fear Allah, indeed Allah is acquainted with what you do. It is very easy to blindly love someone or hate someone. But justice, whether you like or not like, should not be the basis of how you treat others. You may not like them, but you have to treat them with justice. Justice should be the basis on how we act. Some people, when they love someone, they only bring out their virtue and they hide all of their faults. When they hate somebody, that person has no virtues. They just kind of blindly, do not look at their virtues and bring up everything that's bad about them because they hate them. That is not just. Justice has nothing to do with whether you like somebody or you don't like somebody. And the verse is warning us. Just because you hate somebody does not mean you can treat them unjustly. You have to treat them with justice. We have no other option. So some ignorant people think that, we only have to be just with fellow Muslims, but for non-Muslims, we can do whatever we want with them. No, that's not how it goes. You have to treat everyone with justice. Whether they are a believer, not believer, red, white, whatever color they are, has nothing to do with how you should act towards them. You have to act with justice. That's Allah's order. So the injustice is answerable to Allah Ta'ala on the Day of Judgment, and you do not want to be standing in front of Allah when He's asking you, why were you unjust? And you treat somebody unjustly, why did you oppress this? You do not want that position. So we have to treat others justly. And just treatment is for all without exclusion, and it extends even to enemies. The Prophet ﷺ, when he took prisoners, they didn't put them in jail. They put them in their homes. They fed them. They didn't sit there and tie them up and torture them, and just because they were enemies. No. And when you treat others with justice, at some point they may turn around and become close friends, become fellow believers when they see of the perfection of the character of a Muslim. That just because you don't agree with them, you're not going to treat them unjustly. And another verse in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, and verse 135. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. Yet another verse stressing the importance of justice. O believers, stand firm for justice as witnesses for Allah, even if it is against yourselves, your parents, or close relatives. Be they rich or poor, Allah is best to ensure their interest. So do not let your desires cause you to deviate from justice. If you distort the testimony or refuse to give it, then know that Allah is certainly all aware of what you do. So many people, they side with their family, with their children, knowing fully well that they are on the wrong side. They know they're wrong, but just because they're relatives, no, we're gonna protect them. That's not justice. That is not justice. Justice is stopping the oppressor and making peace and reconciliation between all parties. If you want to do justice, if you have a child that's acting unjustly towards somebody else, you need to correct him. You need to stop that behavior and make amends with whoever they were being against. That's how you support, the hadith, unsur akhaka zaliman aw madluma, support your brother whether he was an oppressor or not. That's the meaning from that hadith is if he was oppressing, you stop him. And if he's oppressed, you help him. So that's how justice is. Being, you have to be just, even you have to say if you're wrong, you have to admit it. You have to say what is right, even if it's against yourself, your parents, your children, your family, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. You do the right thing because it is the right thing. You are witness to Allah with injustice. So, injustice just makes more enemies. If just because you don't like somebody, if you act unjustly to them, you just make more enemies. You have to break the cycle. You have to treat them with justice. And now an important point is, if you do injustice to a fellow believer, they will not like you. They'll hate you if you treat them badly. But if you treat a non-Muslim badly, they're going to accuse your religion directly. They're not going to look at you as you as an individual were harming me. Islam is harming me. Look at what Muslims are doing, instead of look at what this person is doing. That's the nature of a way. So we as Muslims in this country, we have to be very vigilant. Because when you commit an injustice, you're doing double the sin. You're committing the injustice, and then you're sullying the image of Islam. You're forcing people to say, look what Muslims do. No, you have to do what is right at any cost. You do the right thing, and Allah will take care of you. So a believer must guard himself and think long and hard before treating anyone or anything unjustly. And that's being just is an order from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And remember that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will support a non-believing nation if they were just. And He will not support a Muslim nation if they were unjust. Justice is the basis. If you want help from Allah, you have to be just. Justice is the basis. Your faith has nothing to do, that's secondary, but you have to be just. So if we realize we're at fault, admit it, correct, apologize, correct, make amends. That's what Islam teaches us. Be the bigger person. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will love, and He will honor, and He will raise the status of the just ones. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم.